Chanel here. The Costume Designer Guild Awards are coming up again in Los Angeles next month. And what am I gonna wear? The usual question. But I have an idea. I'm gonna do a remake of a remake coming up. So the Costume Designer Guild Awards are back again. Feels like yesterday I just made a dress for that. Can't believe so fast. Actually, this year they moved them up. So they went up a month because they moved the Oscars up a month for some odd reason. So now I have less time. But last year I did an upcycle on a cocktail dress. I basically kept the whole bodice, and then I had this beautiful 4-ply silk fabric that I used. I think I had 6 yards and made a long full circle skirt with it. And I also had all these scraps of other 4-ply silks and silk charmeuses, and I turned it into the Crayola dress. So I had all these points of color on it. You can see the video on the YouTube channel here, and I'll put a link down below on there. Hopefully I can link YouTube to YouTube to see how that works. But anyway, what happened was, well, I knew I was going to upcycle this dress anyway, and I had an idea. I'm going to tell you what it is. But I took it to the dry cleaners, and they ruined it. But I wasn't upset because I was going to take these off anyway. Actually, what they did was they ruined the Crayola patches. And if you can see it, the dye, I guess, from this 4-ply silk, you can really see it on the yellow. It's just toast. Actually, wow. So when I made this dress, I was planning on taking all these colors off. And here's the green. That's the 4-ply silk didn't get it as bad, but that's pretty bad. But I actually, on the back side, you can see the stitches. So I planned on taking these Crayola pieces off anyway. And so now I really have to. So I wasn't really upset about it. My husband dropped the dress off, and he showed it to me, and I thank God I looked at it kind of early on, because anyway. But I have to take off all of these colors and this whole binding all around the hem, because I had a foot injury and cannot wear heels, and I'm gonna have to hem this up anyway. So I got to get to that, and we have about a month and a half till the Guild Awards happen, so I got to get started on it. But my idea was to turn this into the Schiaparelli lobster dress. Elsa Schiaparelli in the 1930s did this really cool lobster dress that just got tons of publicity, I think because it was just so odd, and it's kind of humorous piece. And I was looking on the computer for some sketches. This is actually, they had the whole dress. They got more than the sketch, but this is the lobster dress. This was probably like the mid to late 30s. I think this was 1937. And it's just beautiful, and it's fun, and it's the kind of clothes I like to do. I like to have some fun stuff. But I was reading up about it, and there is, I guess the sketch was from Salvatore Dali. He had done some paintings with a lobster in the parsley patch or something. And these actual sketches, are these little green things throughout here, are supposed to be parsley. And just kind of odd, I guess, for back there. But it was so popular. Actually, what was real popular was Wallace Simpson, who married into royalty the Duke of Windsor, I believe. I guess this was 1937. Wallace Simpson wore it for a whole photo shoot, and then Vogue ended up doing an 8-page spread on this whole photo shoot that she was in, and the lobster dress was there. So I think it got just tons of publicity, and it's a fun, cool dress. So a lot of designers know about this dress. And how many years has that ago? But so I was looking it up. So I found this today. It's Anna Winthrop in, she has a version of it here. So it's a straight version and it's a gold. So I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna be copying her. But my idea was I wanted to do a lobster in silver. So it's still my plan. I might change it. I'm gonna see what fabrics I have to kind of do this. That's gonna be hard too, to sketch out this lobster and see what I come up with, but it's fun. I probably come up with something totally different, I don't know, but I'm hoping that's the goal. I also found this picture. This was 2019. This is Schiaparelli. They've updated their dress and just made one shoulder and straight with the red belt here, and that's a new version of their dress. I thought that was so cool. So it lives on. It lives on. So I got to take this dress home, pop up all those they're called gores, and I guess throw them away and get all the stitches out of here, and hopefully they don't leave too much holes on there. And then I got to start designing my lobster and start the whole process. So basically it's the same dress. I don't have to change the dress, just do the hem and just put the lobster on. So it can't be that much work, can it? Anyway, I'm gonna get to work. See ya in a while. Well, it's been a little bit of time since I've gotten to this dress. It turned out that those little gores, the little color things, they took a while to get off. And they left some good marks in the dress. I just steamed it out and they did pretty good. They came out. It had a lot of little pin marks in it, and I had to steam it really good to get them all out. And then I had to really take apart this hem. So I just have it in parts. Not quite sure. I think this hem's going to take me the longest because I think I'm just going to put a binding. I actually tried the dress on and it might have shrunk a little bit, but the front's a little longer and the sides are right where it needs to be. The back's a tad longer, which actually looks good. And I'm going to have to reshape the hem on this. So all a little more work than I thought. What a drag. But I put the dress on and I kind of figured out where I'm going to put my lobster. I put a pin right here, and the skirt is really full, so the lobster is going to kind of lay in there. It's like on the lobster dress itself, it was kind of just more of an A-line like that, and it shows it more, but mine's going to kind of go in, so I had to really find a spot where to go. But meanwhile, I sketched out my lobster, just kind of sketched it in parts and on tissue paper, and I think I nailed it right here. I think it's going to be in here pretty good. So now I just have to figure out how to make this part. I don't really know. I'm just kind of winging it, but that's what we do. But I have this fabric here, so I thought I'll cut this out of here, and then I also have this black glittery, but it won't show up enough on here. So I don't know if I was going to do maybe a two-tone with it, put like a two-layer, have one part on there. And then I got some embroidery thread because I think I'm going to have to like put stitches all throughout here to kind of make the shape of the lobster. That's probably going to be a lot of work, so I better get to it. I only have a couple weeks left, so what are you gonna do? But also, I was traveling and I've been kind of thinking I need a shawl to go with this, because when it was the Crayola dress, I had a blue fabric that was so beautiful, and I was looking and looking. I couldn't really find anything, and we don't have really the greatest fabric stores here, but I actually was in South Carolina and I found this chiffon fabric. They only had like a yard left, and I thought, oh, it's perfect. It was only like $18 a yard, and I went to go get it cut, and it turned out it was on clearance, and then there was a clearance sale and this and that, and I ended up getting it literally for $1. So I was like, should I, you guys pay me to take it? I don't know. But I have, so this is really going to be pretty with that. So I'm really thrilled with that, and I think it'll go really good with the lobster. It'll kind of all blend in. Another idea I thought of doing was I have reset the bodice. This crossed over here, and I can see I pinned it all, and I was playing around with what if I made this into a V shape here, kind of, because whenever you're at events, you got photographs from here up, and you can always kind of tell it's the same dress. So, and then I took a little piece of this off of the shawl fabric, and this has a really pretty design in here. So I think I'm going to be putting this, I got to kind of stitch this out, insetting it inside here, and a lot of hand stitching in there. And I think that'll be real pretty. So I'll have that in there, and then the shawl over there, and then the lobster on there. So I think that's all going to be looking good. I have a lot of work to do, so I'll catch up with you in a little while. Well, I've been playing around with the lobster here. You know, in dressmaking and styling, you'd hear those words. Playing around with the lobster. But I cut out one each layer. I think I'm going to put this glittery layer behind this layer, and then be cutting parts of that up as I stitch it down, sort of like painting with fabric. So that's going to be interesting, to say the least. So that should go on there. I gotta to unpeel all this and put that on there, and then check it out. Be right back. Well, this is how the lobster is looking. I'm gonna put the silver on top, and then I have this glitter on the bottom part. What I'm gonna do is trim the silver part a little bit less than the black, and then probably cut it in parts too, so that the black pokes through, sort of like how this looks here. So I'll cut it in there, and then there's white in there. So I'm going to use the embroidery threads to pop out these colors somehow. I have to figure that out. All right, I'm gonna start on that part, and wish me luck. Well, it's been a few days, and I've gotten some progress done. I've got the inset into the dress, and it's just kind of like what they used to call a little dickie. And it's just like a little fake insert piece, like a camisole or something, and it fit in here perfectly. I did the hand stitching on the just real little tiny hand stitching underneath those sequins, and it turned out pretty good. So then I have been working on this hem. Oh my gosh, I actually had to take a break from the foot pedal for a while. So I had to take all this binding off and then replace it all, and but it fit back pretty good, and so that's done. I got a little bit more trimming to do, and get that done. I also got the shawl done. I just did like a roll over on the hem for the long side, and then I did a double one on the end part. And I'm going to put little snaps. I have some snaps in the dress, and I'll attach snaps to this part so that I don't have to fuss with it all night, and it just kind of hangs in there, and it just it's real natural. I did it last year to the dress, so it had a blue scarf on it, and it was really comfortable. So that's what those safety pins are. I tried it on and have to put the snaps, just kind of hide a little silver snap right in there. It'll be really easy, and then it'll just click on to the snap on the inside of the dress. And I like it when things are real comfortable and I don't have to fuss with them all the time. So little snaps and little hidden things kind of really help it. Now my lobster is really taking shape. So this is the fin, and then the whole lobster. that's the part of it. What I've done is like I put it on this like glittery back fabric here, and then so the glitter shows through, and then I cut into all of the parts, so it's sort of like painting with fabric. And now I have to go in with some embroidery thread and put some different textures and colors to it. So I'm really trying to get it to look like that lobster. And I've been looking at this right here, like studying every little design line on that, and I think it's turning out pretty good. Although the dress looks really good without the lobster on, so now I'm a little like, should I do the lobster? But I really kind of wanted to do it. So as long as it looks like a lobster, I think it should. The fin, these little fin parts really look like the parts. So it'll be interesting, these costume designers, if anybody knows about the lobster dress, they might get it. So it might be kind of fun to see if they'll get it. So I'm taking this home tonight and doing a lot of the embroidery stitches on it, and going to hand stitch that chiffon piece into the dress. And then it's then I just have to attach this. I'll just be hand stitching it to the dress, and then it's done. And then next year I could do the same dress, but don't spill wine all over it. And then I don't know. I'm not going to worry about next year right now, but I'll show you the final product in a day or two. Well, I got my dress 95% done. I have all this stitched in. I've got my shawl with the little snaps, so that now I don't have to worry about it falling off. It just drapes over my arms, stays in place on both sides, and then it just drapes over my arms and covers up my arms that are not like they used to be. Even with all the Pilates, it's not working. And I've got the lobster looking really good. I just have it pinned on right now, and I have to hand stitch all that. I'll see if I can bring this up here. That's the lobster part. Looks pretty cute. If the lobster were cute, I guess. One thing a lot of people were saying, put it in red, but then I wanted it to kind of drape all in these colors and all. So he's a prehistoric lobster. So this was the lobster dress with even Anna Winthrop. She had a gold one, so I have a silver one. Wallace Simpson had the red one. And look at these pants I found. Are those a little, I would never wear those. Those would be, that's crazy. So I am off to the Costume Designer Guild Awards in Los Angeles. We leave in a few days, so I'll post this video after when I get back, so you can see pictures of the event. Hopefully I get some this year. Sometimes you're talking so much and you don't take the pictures, but we have Charlize Theron, who's gotten so many awards, Golden Globes and SAG Awards, all that. I think she's supposed to sweep those. That was the movie Bombshell, which I haven't seen. I should try to see that. And we're hosted by Mindy Kaling. She's funny. Our president, Salvador Perez, he worked with her a lot, so pretty cool. And then we're going to be honoring Michael Kaplan, who's a costume designer that has been around for a long time and has done so many big movies. And he's even written, I remember when I first started, he wrote a book. It's back in the 90s, all about costume design, and so that's going to be so great, his career achievement. So it's at the Beverly Hilton, and it's where they do the Golden Globes, so we're going to stay there and party like it's 1999. That's actually when I was doing more movies, so I probably will be partying like in 1999. And I'll show you a picture of the dress full length right here, and I will see you when I get back. Well, I'm back. Sunny Los Angeles. Went to the Costume Designer Guild Awards. Had a great time. It was a busy week, and thank God it was beautiful weather. Usually it's kind of chilly there in January, February, but we had great weather. We stayed at the Beverly Hilton. That's where they do the Golden Globes. In January, and that's the ballroom. We had the same ballroom that they do the Golden Globes in. We stayed by the pool. It was really fun. We usually stay there a couple days and just relax and read by the pool for a while, and just go to the awards and enjoy ourselves, and just really fun time. So the grand ballroom was busy. It was packed. We had star-studded celebrities there. Really fun. Saw some great dresses. There's this pink feather dress made out of ostriches. And my friend, I saw this lady walking to the table, and she sat next to a friend of mine. I was like, oh, she's going to be breathing in feathers all day. But it was really pretty dress. Then there was another girl in this beautiful batik fabric that was beautiful. I went to this exhibit in North Carolina a year or two, about last year I think it was, on all batiks, and you can find that on the YouTube channel. I did a vlog on it, just beautiful prints, and made evening gowns out of it. You wouldn't have thought you could make evening gowns out of cotton prints, but absolutely beautiful. So I got to wear my lobster dress. It went over well. I'm glad I put the lobster on it. I had a few people know what it was. Actually, it was one young lady I was sitting next to. She's probably in her late 20s, and she right away said, Elsa Schiaparelli. And I was like, wow. She's an assistant designer, and I thought, I'm going to hire her because she seems pretty bright. And I was really impressed that she knew that. So our Guild Awards were star-studded. We had Charlize Theron there, and she was beautiful in this gold dress. She got the Spotlight Award, and John Lithgow presented it to her. He was was in that movie Bombshell, the whole Fox situation, and you can't even, there's those three blondes in there, you can't tell who's who. And the makeup was so well done, and the costumes. And Colleen Atwood, my former mentor, actually was the costume designer on that movie. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to. We also had a lot of our costume designers won awards there, like the woman who did Maleficent, who I have not seen. I saw the first one, I haven't seen the second one, Ellen Majornik. And then we had, I love that they gave the Distinguished Service Award to Mary Fields. She had a middle name. And she's been making dresses and costumes for all the costume designers for years, and they gave her a wonderful award, Distinguished Award. And then we had, which was really great, J.J. Abrams, who directed Star Wars. He presented the Career Achievement Award to Michael Kaplan, and I actually got to I met Michael the day before in the lobby, and I happened to have the magazine that he's on. They put him on the cover of our Costume Designer magazine, and I went over and had him autograph it. He's like, he was silly, but I'm like, wow. I mean, but really, he's been in the business like 40 years, and he looks about 50. But so that he got the Career Achievement Award, and then I saw him again at the elevator at the end of the night, and so he remembered me. That was funny. And so it was a really fun time, and wrote some notes to keep me in there, but it was fun, and I loved my lobster dress. It was pretty fun. So the next couple days we went to the FIDM party, the FIDM, that's a school I went to, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. It's in Los Angeles, and wonderful school, graduated a long time ago. And they have an exhibit every year that honors the costume designers of either they're nominated or not. There's all the ones that are nominated, all their costumes are there. And then they have a big party for us, and we get to go and schmooze and hang out with each other and see what everybody's up to. And so that was that party. It was fun. I got to see again, I see him a lot. I'm so glad he comes to the parties. Is Mark Bridges. He did the Joker, and this year he's won 2 Oscars already. He won was it last year or the year before? The year before, for Phantom Thread. And then he's the guy that had the shortest speech, and he won the jet ski. Jimmy Kimmel, when he hosted it, gave him the jet ski, so it was really fun. Everybody always asks him, what'd you do with the jet ski? So I think he donated it. And then I got to meet my new mentor. I told her she was my mentor from afar. Her name's Laura Jean Shannon, and she did Iron Man and Jumanji. I don't know if she did the very recent Jumanji, but I know she did the first one. I forgot to ask her. I also forgot to ask her, what's it like to work with The Rock? So, but so really fun party. Then my husband and I went over, we were at the Hilton at first, and we went over to the Hollywood Roosevelt, which is just in the center of Hollywood, fun, whole different hotel than the Hilton. And we hung out there a couple days by the Tropicana pool, and just a beautiful pool right in the center of Hollywood. You would never know it was there. And we had fun. I had a little party with some old friends of mine came by. I hadn't seen in years. That was pretty fun. And then what we do every time I go to LA is I go fabric shopping. Went downtown, went through there's just streets and streets of fabric lined up on the sidewalk, and you just go and pick out stuff. And I remember I did the mac and cheese cook-off years ago. I'd just go and I'd shoot for yellow stuff everywhere and get all the yellow sequins and everything. But all my students, they love, my kids' students, they love the sequin fabrics and things like that. So I'm always looking for that. Didn't find a lot this year, so I was a little kind of bummed about that. But had a great time. Love my lobster dress. And my husband had a great time there. He loves fabric shopping with me. He gets to carry all my packages. And then, so now I got to figure out what to wear next year. If I go next year, I'm not sure. It really takes, it takes a lot of work to go there. But hopefully I'll do a movie one day, and then, what the heck, maybe I'll have some of my costumes in the exhibit one day. So thanks for watching my video. I got to share my experience with making a dress with you. Think about doing some upcycling. Go through your closet, find something you could turn into it, and subscribe if you want to see some more videos with that. And we'll see you next time.